They show you what they want you to see. The entrances, the highlights, the big moments. It's all entertainment. These are the accounts as told by the individuals and witnesses. This is what happens when the entertainment ends and the real life begins, where kayfabe ends. Forget the theatrics. The lethal weapon was the real deal. Steve Blackman was a master of Shotokan karate with a 585-pound bench press and a story straight out of a brutal action movie. After surviving a near-fatal case of malaria in South Africa, he didn't just return to the ring. He became the most genuinely feared competitor in WWE history. His toughness wasn't an act, it was earned. JBL was both a locker room bully and a symbol of old-school grit. In a business built on tough guy theatrics, he was known as the real deal, a no-nonsense brawler who lived by the unwritten rules of the road. But according to countless wrestler accounts, those rules often crossed the line into relentless hazing and intimidation, making him one of the most feared and controversial figures behind the curtain. Brawl at the airport, the last straw. Bob Holly's account of the incident as told in his autobiography, The Hardcore Truth. At Kansas City Airport, Steve and I were waiting around when Bradshaw came over. It was an early morning flight and John was still drunk from the night before. He started patting Steve's ass. Steve said, "John, I don't play that shit. Knock it off." John patted him again and again. Steve was getting brutally pissed. He told him, "John, next time you do that, I'm going to knock your fucking teeth out." So, of course, John did it again. Steve whipped around and backhanded Bradshaw, popping him with jabs in the face. John started swinging and missing, and his head was snapping back with each of Steve's jabs. Steve stepped back, planning to kick Bradshaw's knees out, but he got his leg caught in a bag handle. Al Snow and I grabbed Steve, Ron Simmons grabbed John, and we pulled them apart. John was walking back and forth like a bandy rooster, looking to fight. Before we left, Steve told him, "I'm going to fucking kill you." He meant it too. We got our car and got on the road. Ken Shamrock was riding with us. Me, Blackman, and Shamrock. That's a dangerous car and I'm the warm one. A teddy bear compared to the other two. That whole journey, Shamrock was poking and prodding Steve, telling him that Bradshaw was going to beat his ass. Steve wasn't saying a word. And who did we see when we checked in to the hotel? Bradshaw and Ron were right there. The boys don't always stay at the same hotels, so it was a complete coincidence and not a good one for John. He came over to apologize and Steve said, "No apologies, I'm going to finish you later," then walked off. We found him in the gym, still boiling mad. Once we were in the arena and had sat down in catering, John walked in. Everybody went silent as Steve stood up. He said, "If you've got something to say to me, you say it now or I'm going to finish you in front of everybody." Bradshaw walked over, apologized and said, "I shouldn't have fucked with you," and shook his hand. That was the end of it. Steve sat down and said, "Bob, if it wasn't for that bag, John would be in intensive care right now. Trust me, I believe it. If anybody can put Bradshaw in the hospital with one kick, it's Steve Blackman." Steve Blackman's account of the incident as told on Insight Chris Van Vliet.
Somewhat accurate. We were on the plane. JBL and one of the other guys kept throwing stuff up, a few rows up, and hit me in the head. Well, I'm trying to sleep. I mean, like, we don't get a whole lot of sleep when you go to bed at midnight or 1 a.m. and you're getting up at 5 a.m. for an early flight. I want a couple hours sleep on the plane. I walked back after I did it a few times. I said, "Look, guys, I'm trying to get some sleep. I've had enough." Okay, I walk back and sit down. They do it again. So a few more minutes goes by. I walk back. I'm like, "Guys, tough." And the only reason I didn't start swinging right there is because I knew there'd be 20 air marshals waiting for me when we landed. So I'm like, okay, let me go back and sit down. They did it a couple more times, and I am just fuming. And I'm like, I want to sprint back this aisle and just go now. I got to hold it. We get to the baggage claim in St. Louis. I walk up and Bradshaw comes up and stands right beside me. Comes up and bumps me right up against me. I took my sunglasses off, handed it to one of the guys. I came with a backhand from the floor. I backhanded him. I didn't hit him as hard as I could because I didn't want him to split his head open on the floor, but I cracked him. He flew. I turned around. I went 1, 2, uppercut, bombed him. He went flat in his back at baggage claim, and there were 500 people there. And just as I hit him the last time, my foot went through a duffel bag on the floor. It was like a puzzle. My foot must have went right through a certain way. There's this big duffel bag, and I couldn't get it off my leg. I'm kicking, pulling. Well, I don't know the time. A little bit of time goes by. Well, he's awake and back to his feet. He comes up. I turn around. I'm like, oh, I can't get this thing off my leg. And it's, I don't know, 40-pound bag, 50-pound bag. And he comes back, swing. I see the punch coming. I slip. He throws another one. I slip. After that, a whole bunch of guys grabbed everybody and pulled us apart. And, well, naturally, there's so many people at baggage claim. It was a pay-per-view day. So some of the guys from the office had already told Vince and stuff. We get to the arena. Well, Vince must have beelined right for me.